Hello and welcome to The Word, bringing you the good news of Jesus Christ every day from the order of preachers around the world. I am your host, Father Scott Steinkirchner, coming to you today from Missouri in the United States with a preaching I'm calling, Are We Citizens of Heaven or of Earth First? The reading is from the book of Maccabees. From the descendants of Alexander's officers, there sprang a sinful offshoot. Antiochus Epiphanes, son of King Antiochus, once a hostage at Rome, he became king in the year 137 of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, there appeared in Israel men who were breakers of the law, and they seduced many people, saying, "Let us go and make an alliance with the Gentiles all around us. Since we separated from them, many evils have come upon us." The proposal was agreeable. Some from among the people promptly went to the king, and he authorized them to introduce the way of living of the Gentiles. Thereupon they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem, according to the Gentile custom. They covered over the mark of their circumcision and abandoned the Holy Covenant. They allied themselves with the Gentiles and sold themselves to wrongdoing. Then the king wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, each abandoning his particular customs. All the Gentiles conformed to the command of the king, and many of the children of Israel were in favor of his religion. They sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. On the 15th day of the month of Chislev, in the year 145, the king erected the horrible abomination upon the altar of burnt offerings, and in the surrounding cities of Judah, they built pagan altars. They also burned incense at the doors of the houses and in the streets. Any scrolls of the law which they found, they tore up and burnt. Whoever was found with a scroll of the covenant, and whoever observed the law, was condemned to death by royal decree. But many in Israel were determined and resolved in their hearts not to eat anything unclean. They preferred to die rather than to be defiled with unclean food or to profane the Holy Covenant, and they did die. Terrible affliction was upon Israel. Thus ends the reading. Are we citizens of heaven first or citizens of earth? Because here on earth, there are these things called nations. Now, a nation is really a fiction. We pretend there are these lines on the ground that you can't cross, and there's people on this side and people on that side. And we want the people on this side to all be the same and do the same things, and the people on the other side, you just keep out. 'Tis a fiction, though. There aren't really lines on the ground, only the ones that we draw. But we protect those borders. But God calls us to something more important. We're citizens of heaven first. That's what this reading of the Maccabees was about. In the days of the Maccabees, they wanted to make treaties with all the nations around, since the Greeks had come through and conquered everyone and brought about sort of peace and prosperity. So quit following God's law. It separates you from your neighbors. And let's just make everybody do the same thing and follow the religion of the state, because then we'll be one people. Prosperity. Why not? The Maccabees resisted. No, We're God's people, and we owe our allegiance to God first. But it isn't just that. It's recognizing that God had saved them, God had made a place for them, that they belonged to God, and that's where they wanted to stay. They didn't want to disappear into their neighbors. Well, that was then, and this is now. And I live in the United States, and there's a great push against keeping your own particular faith in the United States. Am I an American first or a Catholic first? That's the question. And sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it's very obvious. It's very obvious right now with the idea of immigrants and how we treat immigrants. And the US Catholic bishops, like the Maccabees, have said, whatever you do about borders, every person is made in the image of God. Every person needs to be treated with dignity and respect. And you can't vilify people. So whether they're here illegally or not, people have rights that can't be trampled on, and you need to act accordingly. And then the US border guard, who claims himself to be a lifelong Catholic, says the bishops are wrong and they should shut up about immigration. People don't have rights given by God. We're Americans first, and we need to protect ourselves. So I put it to all of us Americans to think of that. Am I first Catholic, Christian, believing in the dignity of every human person? Or am I first an American who knows we need to protect our borders from those evil drug dealers?